What's going on, guys? We are back with another review of a day at an amusement park, and today we are talking about this visit we just had to Hersheypark. So when we first got to Hersheypark, we headed over to Twizzlers first. Yeah. And then after Twizzlers, Sky Rush. And then after Sky Rush, we headed to Comet. And then after Comet, we headed to, I think, Great Bear. And then after Great Bear, I think we headed to Storm Runner first.
Oh yeah, Storm Runner.
Storm Runner first. And then after Storm Runner, we headed over to Mixed, flavored by Jolly Rancher. And then after Mixed, we headed over to the boardwalk. And then after we're in the boardwalk, we did Whitecap Racer first. And then we did Breaker's Edge.
Yep.
And then
we did Pipeline. And
then Riptide.
And
Hydro.
And then
Whirlwind. Yeah, and then we headed over to Tidal Force. And then after Tidal Force, we headed over to Wildcats Revenge, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then after Wildcats Revenge, we headed to both sides of Lightning Racer. And then after both sides of Lightning Racer, we headed to Fahrenheit, I think it was. Yeah, because it had like a very minimal line, so we were able to get on it right away. And it's always good riding Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it was good to get back on it because we haven't ridden it since April. So
yeah. And so, anyways, after Fahrenheit, we headed over to, I think, let me see, the Triple Towers.
Hershey
Tower, and then the Reese's Tower, and then the Kisses Tower. And then after those three towers, we headed over to Simply Chocolate to get well, I didn't get a king size shake. I actually tried a cookie ice cream sandwich, and it was really good, actually. I recommend it, actually. It was really, really good. You're what the heck? It is really freaking good, and I would recommend it. And yeah, so anyways, after that we headed over to Wave Swinger at that point.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and then after Wave Swinger, we headed over to, I think, Reese's Cup Fusion, because that's when everything started.
Yeah, everything started closing.
Yeah, due to rain. And then
it was a thunderstorm.
Yeah, and then after we decided to wait it out for Reese's Cup Fusion. And so
it was good getting back on Reese's Cup Fusion.
It was good getting back on that. And so anyways, after Reese's Cup Fusion, I think that's when we rode the Claw.
Yeah,
and then after the Claw, we headed over to Frontier Flyers, and then after Frontier Flyers, we headed over to, I think it was
Jolly Rancher Remix.
Jolly Rancher Remix. Yeah, we got watermelon today. Yay! And so, anyways, after Jolly Rancher Remix, my favorite Vekoma Boomerang, we headed over to Storm Runner for no. We tried to get a reride on Storm Runner, but then but then it shut down
I think it was maintenance related.
Yeah, maintenance related. And so anyways, after that failure, we headed over to Wildcats Revenge. And then after Wildcats Revenge, we got on Laugh Track, my favorite indoor coaster in our area. Yeah, I love getting back on Laugh Track on some visits to Hersheypark. Yay! And so, I always enjoy riding Laugh Track. It is an underrated indoor spinning coaster. And so, anyways, after Laugh Track, we headed over to the lightning side of Lightning Racer.
Yeah.
And then after the lightning side of Lightning Racer, I think that might have been when we headed over to, I think,
I want to say
Candymonium.
Oh yeah, Candymonium.
think it was.
You had yet to ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after Candymonium, we headed over to Super Duper Looper, and then after Super Duper Looper, we headed to Sky Rush, and then after Sky Rush, we headed to Twizzlers. And then after Twizzlers, we ate at Spring Creek Smokehouse, which was a good dinner there, by the way. And for lunch, we ate at Nathan's too. And I always
forgot to mention that.
Yeah, and I always love eating at Nathan's whenever we go to Hersheypark for some reason. I always love Nathan's at Hersheypark. It's like underrated. And yeah, so anyways, moving forward, after Spring Creek Smokehouse, we did Great Bear again, and then after Great Bear, we got Last Ride of the Night on Wildcats Revenge, our last ride of the night on Wildcats Revenge, I think. And then after that, that basically concluded our day at Hersheypark. So that basically concludes this review of this day we just had at Hersheypark. Make sure to reply to me your thoughts on this video, and make sure to stay tuned for more coming soon to Coaster Plus Music 19. And make sure to go check out my merch store on Bonfire. I'll have a link in the description. I sell t-shirts, face masks, all the things, so make sure to go check it out. I'll have a link in the description. And make sure to subscribe if you're new and turn on post notifications so you will not miss when I upload any video. And I will see you in the next.